I would like to invite to the stage Bill Beanie, who will introduce Mike Karin.
Thanks, Aaron. A great night. And before I start, just real quickly, last night we had a dinner that Chuck Gately sponsored over at the Swift House, and it was just such an enjoyable night to meet so many of Mike and Lindy Karin's friends, and it was a wonderful night. And I'd also just like to pay a special recognition to Dates Freiberger, one of our inductees, and great to see you out here. And Dates is representing the whole Freiberger clan, and we're glad to have him all the way from Sun Valley, Idaho. It's an honor to speak about Mike in recognition about being selected to our Hall of Fame. Although I never saw Mike play, his legendary style of play, his elite skills, and especially his leadership were often the subject of stories by former teammates and his head coach, Duke Nelson. Mike's personal awards, of which there are many, scoring records, are all very well documented. He led most every team that he played on in scoring. Always more assists with the team, first attitude. Team first was always what he was about. A testament to him being the best of the best. And he played back when there was one level of hockey in the NCAAs, so he played against all the best college players in the country. During my first 5 years of coaching, it was so enjoyable to hear the cadence of a particular person walking down the hallway with his boots on, kind of clinging along, and it was the distinct Duke Nelson, and I knew that we were in for a couple of stories, and we'd have a conversation of which I mostly did the listening. He'd often talk about his great players and his great teams. And I remember one conversation that we had, because I would always quiz him on the different players that I'd heard about. And so I'd ask him about different players, and he said, Mike Karin. He said, without question, the best all-around player that I coached. But then he was quick to say, but you have to understand, the best scorers were Dates Freiberger and Phil Latreille. But Mike was the best all-around player that he coached. Mike played, as Duke would describe, Mike played with a great spirit, an edgy attitude, a competitiveness, and ended up making his teammates better. It was actually, as many of you may know, it was inside the walls of Nelson Arena where Mike was able to bring his team, the community of Middlebury, the students of Middlebury, to a place where Middlebury hockey was recognized at the top of the NCAA chart. The style that I described was best described by one of his teammates who at Northwood School, and one of his opponents at the college level. And I want to read this short paragraph because it encapsulates what Mike was all about as a player and as a leader. Mike possessed the qualities of speed, stick skills, toughness, and finesse that excelled others playing the game. But the greatest quality that he had for success was his attitude. Always team-oriented and doing what would help the team to win, even at the expense of personal stats. He always had something that I never saw in anyone else, and it was best described as a sense of where you are. He knew exactly where everybody was on the ice, and he would either get to where the puck was going, or he would deliver the puck on a teammate's stick. It was a Gretzky-like, for those of you who follow hockey, That's the way Mike played back in 1959. Duke would say he played as though he had eyes in the back of his head. The last thing I want to talk about, and there's a great showing from Mike's coaching stint. Mike's love of hockey and eagerness to share his knowledge led him to the coaching world. He spent time at Princeton as an assistant coach, but eventually returned to Middlebury in 1976 and started the women's ice hockey program. And many members of that first team are here this evening enjoying the experience. So his first year was a club sport, and then it went to varsity status. They wrote me a note to describe their experience. Our teams will be forever grateful for Mike's hockey expertise, his will to push us to be better, his great sense of humor, and for our epic road trips. And hopefully Mike will expand upon that when he speaks. It was about fun. They enjoyed their first winning season in 79-80, the same year that Duke Nelson became Mike's assistant coach. Please join me in welcoming Mike Karin to our Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Coach. What a record he amassed during his coaching career. Fantastic. President Patton, Aaron Quinn, members of the Hall of Fame Committee, friends of Middlebury Athletics. I am extremely proud and honored to be a member of the Middlebury Hall of Fame. My journey has been rewarding and fun, due mostly to the people I have met along the way, and I appreciate those who are here tonight. A very special thank you to Coach Beanie, teammate Chuck Gately, and the CSF group for their support. I found my passion. But I don't know where or when or how. Maybe it was the first time on borrowed skates, 3 sizes too big, but compensated by 2 pairs of wool socks when I crossed the width of the ice without a fall. Skating the length of the ice would have to come sometime later. Or maybe it was as a member of my neighborhood team when my mom would wake me at 6:30 and out the door I would go with a slice of cinnamon toast to walk with my teammates down the hill across the village green as we were joined by other players headed for the rink. Some of the players were on enemy teams, but we were all friends before the game, and regardless of the score, we were friends after the game. Not uncommon to have a friendly snowball fight on the way home. I found my passion. High school brought a new dimension to my life. Distractions, cars, girls, and beer. The passion was still there, but the challenge became greater. Older kids on the team, rough play, travel, and those distractions. Who needs this anyway? Northwood School changed all that. An invitation to attend boarding school with no distractions and everyday practice and games at the Olympic Arena was just what I needed. Players from New York and Massachusetts were the basis for a team that played most college freshman JV teams and the best prep and public schools in the East. Coach Jim Fullerton, known as the best high school coach, guided our team to an undefeated season and prepared us for college hockey, with many teammates playing for teams as captains. I found my passion. First day of team tryouts at Middlebury College, I was focused like never before. It was almost exactly 64 years ago in this very building when I jumped on the ice for the first time, forgetting that I had not removed my skate guards. I went flying. My stick went flying, and I had to crawl off the ice to remove my scabbards. I'm sure Duke Nelson was not impressed. Would I make the team? I promised myself that never make that mistake again. Fast forward 4 years in my final game of my career as a Middlebury player against Hamilton College in my hometown of Clinton, New York. Of course, my parents, their friends were there, my high school friends, and Greg Bath, the Hamilton coach, who was my idol growing up. Oh yes, it happened again. With my skate guards on, I hit the ice, and again my stick went flying, and once again I had to crawl my way to safety. What I accomplished between those two spills may be known only by my teammates, and proposed a challenge to the Hall of Fame committee. I'm with you, captains Ron O'Keefe, Hugh Marlowe, Ken Corey, and Phil Latreille. Duke was more than just a coach who was only interested in winning. Make no mistake, Duke was extremely competitive. We could be ahead by 3 goals with less than a minute to go in the game, and Duke would still have his top 5 out there. There were times when we were short of talented players as we went against more talented teams, but Duke was always upbeat and motivational. I think the worst off-color language I ever heard from Duke was holy fish cakes. However, he was known to get excited during the heat of the game. We played Dartmouth, and I tried to play with a separated shoulder, and after the first period, Duke came in the locker room and said, "Mike, go get dressed. You're no good anyway." I left the game, but I didn't take his message literally. I found my passion. A friend read my bio and asked, why did I not go to the Olympics? After 4 years at Middlebury, I did not have enough credits to graduate. That summer, I worked harvesting wheat for Ben, owner of a ranch. We became friends, and as he asked me questions about my family, etc., and he asked, what degree did I receive from Middlebury? I told him I did not graduate. At the end of the harvest, I went to pick up my paycheck, and a rather lengthy conversation ensued. Ben said that it is important that I return to Middlebury to finish what I had started, and if I agreed to return, he would pay for my first semester as a gift. I promised that I would go back and finish. While back at Middlebury, I received an invitation to join the Olympic training program during my Christmas break. 25 players attended the camp, and 18 would be selected to represent the U.S. at the Olympics. After completing training camp, Coach Riley told me that I had made the team and that I would go to the Olympics. I would need to make all practices and games, and that the team will leave in 2 days to barnstorm across the country. After much thought and remembering my commitment to Ben, I respectfully declined and returned to Middlebury. That team won Olympic gold, and I have a well-earned Middlebury diploma. I cannot end my talk without recognizing the Middlebury women who started playing hockey as a club sport. As their volunteer coach, I did on-ice instruction. What the women lacked in talent was offset by their unending desire. They did all the planning, scheduling, travel arrangements, equipment, and that was the start of what has become a most successful program under Coach Mandigo. They found their passion. Thank you. Let the journey continue.